Good morning, everybody. Thanks for
Hey,
logging on.
Chris.
We got people joining. Hey, Brian. Remember, you can all share your faces. It's nice to see faces.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Renee. Hey, Brian. There's a face. See?
There's a
Like
face. Yeah,
puzzling.
I'm camera shy.
It's nice when you're doing these to see somebody that you're talking to versus blank screen, you know?
It's very true.
So hopefully we'll have more. I did not realize there was an issue with the link for some people last week. Some people got on with no issues, but so got still people joining. I'm excited. Today's topic is one that gets asked of me a lot, and I have zero expertise. I'm just checking Facebook group, making sure nobody is having issues getting on. Doesn't look like it. Lots of people joining. This is good. We are starting to see the beginnings of the wind down. Some states it's a little bit more. Morning, Nick. Morning, Kate. Nice to see faces. We're starting to see that wind down. It's not all at once. It's a slow, and I have a feeling it's gonna be one of those things that's suddenly gonna just take off in your state as more and more people are suddenly realizing what's happening. I am purposely keeping my last week of the month open because what's going to happen, I can just anticipate that people are going to go to their state Medicaid program and go, oh, I was supposed to do something. And they're going to log on, they're going to put in their stuff, and then they're going to get denied. And then they're going to be panicking and they're going to be trying to find, hey, who is that person I heard about or read about? And so you might be getting a lot of people in the last week of the month. Going forward. So I just got sent an email from Andy Dasher at North American about just one state where they're expecting a few thousand to just suddenly realize they don't have insurance. So it's going to be.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever thought about, or have you put out a press release at all yourself for your exact area?
I have done not necessarily a press release, but that's a great idea. We certainly could. I have a poster that I will have hopefully next week that I can show you that I'm creating. So you can copy it. I'm going to have them at the North American print shop that I've showed in the past. So you can just order them, print them if you want, put those out. But yeah, absolutely. I don't know why you couldn't do that, especially in your local area, right? That's where you are known. And the states aren't, every state's going to do it different. Some are telling people ahead of time, some aren't. Some are like, we sent you a letter, you know, so a press release isn't a bad idea. Good job, Kate.
What about, have you looked at, maybe you've already created this is something that I want to create and I just haven't made the time to do it, but kind of like a Medicaid unwinding playbook. So something that you could send like electronically to the different providers and things like, hey, this is what you need to look for. These are what your next steps
providers?
are.
Who would you send this to? Yeah, but who would you send it to?
Yeah, my thought is to send it to different providers. So whether they're seniors or whether they're, I mean, just in general, like provider offices, just kind of as a playbook.
Oh, you mean like a doctor's office?
Yeah, provider. Like a doctor's office.
I hear provider, yeah. I think insurance. So I'm like,
sorry, yeah, doctor's office, like pediatricians' offices. Yep. You know, just even ones that specialize in senior care, primary care doctor's office, because I think that a lot of it's going to be when they show up to the doctor's office and they no longer have
insurance.
Yeah,
and they do. I don't know. Every state, again, every state's different. Every hospital system's different. My hospital system has people. So if somebody shows up and they don't have insurance, they go, hey, come on back, you know, Susie Smith, let me show you. And they either help them with Medicaid or they help them get them on the marketplace. But I've made relationships with those hospital systems going, please don't do complicated ones. I'm a health broker. I do all the brokers. This is what I need to do. So if you haven't already reached out to your hospital systems, your doctor's offices, do that, because you're right. It's who's going to hear about it first? Pharmacies and doctors. That's when somebody's going to find out their insurance is gone. They show up at the pharmacy to get their prescription that they've gotten every month, and they're going to say, you don't have insurance. So if the pharmacy's got a stack of your cards and your brochures right there, they can go, hey, here's this person. They can help you. Now, as I hope you are all aware, we cannot backdate marketplace insurance, and we can't start it in the middle of the month. So that's the negative. It just is what it is. They're talking about fixing that so that you can start it mid-month. You know, if somebody's employer coverage ends on the 12th, we should start them on the 13th. We don't right now. So the sooner that people find out and get to you, you can kind of help them. Hey, hold on. Maybe your pharmacist can give you a week's worth of medication. You can ask for that, a week's worth, and then get them in on the first. So to kind of think about that, there is no mid and there's no back. The only things that will backdate coverage is Medicaid systems. My personal state goes 3 months back. I don't know what other states. So again, everybody, if you boy, we got a lot of people on. This is great. We have a guest speaker. Her name is Renee. I'm so excited to introduce her. She is one of my personal friends. We've known each other for quite some time. She has been more in the Medicare world, but she is dabbling in the ACA. But she is in numerous states. She markets all over the country. And I asked her to come because I'm a local specialist. I'm the #1 in my area for years. I live in Wisconsin. I'm known in Wisconsin. I don't know Georgia. I don't know Texas, where I'm actually licensed. But I only went with clients that moved. So I brought Renee in specifically to help teach you, give you ideas on how to market, not necessarily your local. Your local is really easy. It's how do you market when you're out? So Renee, welcome and take it aboard. Take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Glad to be here. So Chris is right. We have been friends and colleagues for quite a while, and I love that she spearheads our ACA. We've always called her our ACA guru. And I kind of do the Medicare stuff. So our stuff does overlap sometimes. A lot of things about Medicare. So my target market is 50 to 64. So that's one of the reasons I'm in, quote unquote, the ACA business, is I always need a place to put that spouse, because it's usually, 5 to 10 years younger of the spouse. So what Chris is telling you and what we tell our Medicare agents, and we do both. We do under 65 and Medicare, but we really focus on Medicare. And we do the doctor's offices with the brochures. We do the rack cards. We do all those things. And if you haven't, we teach a pharmacy program, and the pharmacy program is you go and you get in with a pharmacist, and they will refer you business because they don't know what you know. Even Kate, that was a great idea of you saying, get something together, but in my opinion, here's the problem is they don't even want to deal with it. So they don't do anything. But if you do say, hey, I can help them, they will pass out your card. But if you try to educate them, they're like, I don't know. We've tried to do it with Medicare, and they're like, can I just send them to you? Absolutely. So a few different ways that I market, and I can just talk about the things that I've done because it's different for everybody. We have different people in our group. We're called the local Medicare specialists, and we have different people in our group that do different things. So one of ours is a pharmacy specialist. And so he'll go out and he has 10 to 13 pharmacies, and they're not in his backyard, by the way. He'll drive 2 hours to them. But what he does is he goes and he develops a relationship with them, and he tells them how he can benefit. It's not just, hey, I'm a local agent, let me help you. He will go in and get to know what their business is, how he can help them retain and increase their business. So it's not about what we call spraying and praying. Here you go, here's my cards, call me. Yeah, they might, but if you go and develop relationships, they will really help you because you are basically an unpaid employee for them. And they love that. So another way, I personally market on Facebook. I've been doing that for 5 years. It's expensive. However, that's basically the only way I market. So I started 5 years ago with one guy. And basically, I went like this. I've got $2,000 to spend in 10 days. Can you help me? And I'd been following him on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, great. If you're not, it's a great tool for me. One of the reasons is there's groups in there that you can get in. There's, I'm going to show you one here in a minute. Chris, will you give me the controls for a second?
You should have them.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me. So if you guys can see my screen right here, I'm in a group called Tanglewood Moms. It's here in Fort Worth, Texas. And if you just look at this thread right here, I guess Blue Cross Blue Shield working with 200 plus OBGYNs, they've stopped. Well, you get women talking about their OBGYN and they got 55 comments, and this was just from yesterday. Guess what most of them are saying? Well, I don't like insurance. I just pay cash. I just pay cash. I just pay cash. Well, what if these people actually can qualify for ACA and they don't know it? I mean, that's something that you look at and go, maybe I can help them. So I reached out to a couple of them that I know and I said, let me see if I can help you. And if I can't help them with ACA, maybe I can help them with an under 65 program, because we are experts. They're not. They had one issue, and that was, I'm done with insurance, because they don't have anyone to talk to. You know, kind of like with Chris, I didn't like ACA for a long time because it was so confusing for me. And then, you know, Chris kind of started talking to me about, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But if you look at these comments, it's like, you know, every time we turn around, they're not taking them, blah, 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 pay cash, pay cash. So a couple of things I will tell you is, if you really want to expand your business, then I would get on Facebook and make sure that you have a presence, because people are going to what I call cyber stalk you. They're going to look to make sure that you have who you are. Like Chris is known in her community, but if she goes to another state, nobody knows her. They're not going to know who she is. Why does she have purple hair? You know, I mean, nothing. But if now Chris can't, because she has a brick and mortar. I don't have a brick and mortar. And I designed my life for a certain reason. I want to work when I want to work, where I want to work, and how I want to work. So everybody is different. And so when you design kind of what your lifestyle is, then you figure out who your people are going to marketing. People will say avatar, but who your target market is. If you want to advertise, I mean, if you want to get people outside of your general area, you're going to have to figure out what those outside general area people do, like, and where they are. Meetup groups, next door. And I mean, it can be, I have a whole list that I can give Chris, that tools that I used when I got started, because, and things that I tell my agents, because I don't want them to go and spend thousands of dollars and not get any results. Some of it's boots on the ground in the beginning, but Facebook advertising, I do under 65 and I do over 65. So I do both. And there's a reason I do that, is I target market 50 to 64-year-olds. So I literally can walk them right into Medicare. That is my perfect client. What else? If you will look at Medicare and Medicaid unwinding, you'll see they actually do have some toolkits. I don't know if you guys have looked at this, but they do. And then the Kaiser Foundation actually has some really good 10 things to know about Medicaid unwinding. So if you guys are on Facebook and you do have a business page, make some posters. Canva is free. I use that all the time. I design my own ads. If you guys want to, friend me on Facebook and kind of see what I post, that to me is something that I would start doing just so you can have a presence somewhere. I have a presence everywhere. The only place I really market is on Facebook. But I mean, you can look me up on Twitter. I don't use it, but people will follow me. And every once in a while, somebody will reach out and say, hey, what about this or what about that? So I'm not going to tell you you're going to sell a ton of stuff, but you will actually get a lot of people following you. How I've got 2,000 people following me, I have no idea. Never asked them to. But then all of a sudden, someone will say, hey, so-and-so referred me to you. I have no idea who that is. Chris, am I missing anything?
So it seems, even though you're not local, you're getting a lot of your referrals from joining those groups that are then you're part of the group and you're seeing it. And then when the opportunity pops up, you're there, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So you're not the local expert, you're the Facebook expert of the group. Does
Yeah,
that make sense, people? And I know we had a question, Richard said, do you have examples of compliant ads? So here's the thing, there's no worries about compliant ads when it comes to ACA. The similar thing is you can't say I sell Blue Cross, because Blue Cross is going to go, wait a minute, you need to get that approval from me. So you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. It's coming, it's Wild West right now, but the rule is going to come, especially because we've got those big call centers who are not playing nice. It makes me just furious when I see those ads say, hey, become an agent and you could have no contact with clients. Well, then you're not doing a good job, because with ACA, can you do that with Medicare? Of course not. Why? Because they need to know what they're doing. And same with ACA. This is their money we're talking about, their health, so those are coming. The more you are already ready for that, the better. And so I did put in the chat 2 of the Kaiser Foundation things regarding the Medicaid program. One was the one that Renee talked about, 10 things, and then just enrollment and unwinding tracker that shows the states. But yes, we live in a world now where people want a personal connection. So even if it's on Facebook and you're not actually personally meeting them, it's still a Facebook connection. It's a personal person that they see you. And Renee's right. People will stalk you, and suddenly somebody you've never even heard of is like, hey, so-and-so told me. And it's because you were in a group. And if you're showing yourself as caring, heart-centered, an expert, they want to find somebody that they know, even if it's just the face.
so here's my Facebook page, and I would highly recommend that you grab one and kind of start just posting. I grab articles and just post it, 10 Medicare mistakes, and mine are not always the same. Some it's about life insurance, some are ads that I do, some are, stacking, because you still need to be able to show them what's your value. What are you going to be able to help them with? Are you just another insurance agent? This one. It's huge to stack critical illness with an ACA plan. Statistically, 1 in 3 men, 1 in 2 women are going to have some form of cancer in their lifetime. So, just be of value to them. This to me right here, and groups, if you look at all the groups I'm in, I have a ton of groups that I am actually in. And one of the reasons I am is because it helps me connect with people and say, hey, let me see if I can help. And I don't know if I can or not, but let me see. If I can, great, I'll tell you. If I can't, I'll tell you that too. But as we kind of like to tell our Medicare agents, be a resource for people, whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's a pharmacy, whether it's a Google group, a Facebook group. Just let me be a resource for you. Let me see if I can help. My biggest thing is, how can I help?
Anybody have questions on that? Brian asked, do you recommend a Facebook advertising expert as opposed to doing it yourself, right?
So I do have an expert that does it. I don't do it. That's the reason I said it's expensive. I don't want to have the learning curve. I started out with about $2,500 a month. As the years have gone down, I pay about $1,500 a month now, because think about this is when you start, and you can do it on your own. Trust me, I guarantee you can. I didn't want to learn that. I don't have time to learn that. And so I was willing to pay somebody, have a great relationship with them. And they've been doing it for 5 years. And so I would test it both ways, but just know that if you're going to step in that arena, one, it's going to be expensive. Two, you're going to have to do it for 6 months to a year to get some traction. So I've turned people on to this guy and they'll do it for a month or two and go, nope, not doing it. Well, that you just might as well light those $100 bills on fire, because it's not. Chris does ads in movie theaters. You know, she does it for a long period of time. We have people that do billboard advertising. They do it for a long period of time, because you're never going to get real traction from just one thing. And so if you need to start off small, start off small. It doesn't make a bit of difference. I just started posting just because I did want to learn that. So I do know how to post, and I've got tools that I do one post and it shoots out to every single one of them. So I love automation. I love technology.
I just found one of those too, so that I posted in one thing, it goes to my Facebook, my Instagram, and my kids get me into TikTok. She's 16. I told her she's in charge of TikTok videos.
And that's the biggest one, and she'll do great with that. I promise you.
Yep. So yeah, I know everybody wants to find the quick fix. This is honestly the year to get in, because there's going to be a lot of people that are trying to come off there, trying to find something. You just have to get your name out there. I have my truck wrapped, which is expensive. It's about, $1,200 to get your car with actual logos. So buy a magnet. Magnets are inexpensive. And I have gotten so many people because they saw my car. I even got a small group because they saw me leaving the high school and they snapped a photo and sent it to the boss, and then they called me. So it doesn't have to be big. If you spread yourself out to numerous things where your name is just popping up and it's just there, you may not necessarily always be able to track it, but as this Medicaid unwinding is happening, then yes. And I want to show you, so I'm going to show you that website again. Here's North American, it's shop.North American Insurance. Though if you just go to na-insurance.com, over here on the right is shop. It takes you to the print shop. They're already there. And right here, there's your logo on a car.
Mark and I actually designed all of these with his brother, Matt. We started with your local Medicare specialist. And one
it's
of the
just
reasons,
grown.
one of the reasons we did is because it's too hard to be an insurance agent and a marketer. And if you don't have the skill set, then it's twice as hard. So you're either going to do it or you're going to spend money doing it. And we figured if we could just kind of help get you started, then that was a good starting point, and you didn't have to learn how to be a marketer.
And Renee, somebody asked, and this is a good question, do the ads that you create, do they target people in Facebook groups, or are those groups kind of outside of the ad?
So they are outside of the ad. However, I will post in there because there are some groups that will let you advertise. Or I'm in with a healthcare group, and they are hospice people. They are, long-term care people. And they love me being in there because I'm a huge resource. Well, what I came to find out was they were a better resource for me because I was learning a lot that I didn't know. Think about the Chamber of Commerce. Think about, you're basically a resource of information that people would love to know who you are, because they have questions and they don't know.
Right. Kate, you said you've never had a call from your magnet. How big is your magnet? Mine's a wrap. It's huge. So it can't be small. They need to be able to see it. And you may not necessarily know that it came from the magnet. I don't know how many of you track. I track very much so. On our intake forms, we have an intake form everybody must fill out that says, how did you hear about us? So that's partly how. And then on my webpage, which is nextstep-insurance.com, it's as soon as somebody, now I paid for this, as soon as you go to my website, this little thing pops up and says, how did you find us today? Drive by, walk by, think local, movies, video, newspaper ads. Because name recognition is what is going to happen. So the name recognition, they see you in a movie and then they come to your website and so they'll say it. But maybe they didn't until I tracked it. They heard my name in the movie, then there's somebody else saw them, then they saw a poster at the county fair, and then they lost insurance. And when they walk in, they're like, I don't know, I just have known your name. So I don't really know, is my car keeping track? So we put this on our Facebook page, how did you find us today? So that we can keep track. So that, because it's fresh in their mind, the first time they come to my website, they can say, I saw you in the networking group, I saw you on internet search. So
But
that's
also look at your colleagues and things like that. Chris, go back to your website for a second.
Yep.
So see where it says losing Badger care coverage, we can help. That's a simple, direct message. And it will make somebody go, oh, really? Let me get a hold of them. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but some of the simpler messages are the ones that hit home.
And Kate, I don't have to pay commercial insurance because I'm not traveling with anything. I just let my insurance know that I have my, I didn't have to have company insurance, commercial insurance for my car, because I'm not doing anything. I'm not carrying things. I'm not doing it for work specifically, but yes, you do need to let your carrier know if you do that. But if you wrap your car, this is the awesome thing, your car is now 100% tax deductible. The payments for the car, the insurance payment for the car, the maintenance for the car, it's all 100%. So as opposed to a magnet where they're like, well, you might take it off. I just wrapped it. And so the whole thing became a write-off. So yes, on your webpage, you should be putting whatever your state is. For me, it's Medicare or Badger Care. It's also called Forward Health. Should be the first thing they see when they log on. I mean, that's the big thing for the next years. Let them know instantly. You have to kind of think of consumers not necessarily knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We think, well, yeah, health insurance, it's the same thing, or Medicare, it's health insurance, but you have to go, what will your clients think when they actually see it? I have to use Forward Health. I did not realize this because I love ACA. And so Forward Health is what the Medicare eligible Medicaid people in my state are used to. They're not used to Badger Care. Badger Care is under 65. And I'm like, it's the same thing. It's the same program, but for whatever reason, over 65 Forward Health. So now our posters say Badger Care Forward Health. The other thing, just as a reminder, talked about it before, North American has a conference. It's in Texas in July because they want to make sure we all get our good sweat on, but it's great. This agent conference is North American Insurance Service. It's just for agents. There are going to be some vendors there, like United Healthcare is going to be there, but they're not speaking because we all know what United Healthcare does. We know what Humana does. Like, they're there and boost, you can get some more information. You can get a direct name because having your local carrier contact is so important to know who to go to when you have an issue. But this is a conference for agents by agents. Renee will be speaking, I will be speaking, because we want agents to just be better. This will make you work so much smarter, not harder. If you can make the same amount of money with 500 clients, then you would if you had 900. Wouldn't you rather have 500 to make the same amount or more? Because we're going to help teach you how to work smarter. So the conference is July 24th, 25th in Fresco. It's really nice. If you're a Cowboys fan, it's right next to the Cowboy Club. You can get tickets. It's not very much right now. If you're really struggling, let me know. I can probably get you a discount. It's in a hotel. You don't have to stay in that specific hotel, which is quite pricey. There are 2 hotels that are the normal price a block. So it's a great way to just meet. And everybody who goes, there's some testimonials down here from agents who have gone in the past, including Renee. That's actually where Renee and I've got to be really close friends, is at these conferences. And I've been to 4 so far, and they're just great every time I learn. So if
And
anyone has questions or want to
everybody
know,
is there to help you.
Yep.
Whether it's, me, you'll pick up things, but I think the biggest thing for me and for Chris is we're a big family. I mean, we've known each other for a long time, and we just kind of pick up where we left off. Everything is in walking distance. So once you get there, you will not need a car. Doesn't matter if you stay at this hotel or that hotel or this hotel, everything is in walking distance, and it is phenomenal. So if you want to take your family and have a little vacation on the end of each side, it's a great opportunity. And
there's a water park
yeah.
not too far. So, but yeah, so we're kind of at the bottom of the hour. I hope you got some ideas to start thinking, different places to put your name out. Press release. I love that, Kate. Great job. No, the conference really focuses on being an agent and running your own agency. It will have some Medicare stuff. It'll have some ACA stuff. It'll talk about life, but it's really about how to think smarter as an agent. And I started as an own independent agent. It was just me. And now I own an agency with 17 staff members. So not everybody wants to do that. But if you want to, this will help. If you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Well, then how do you streamline? Renee's just Renee. Many agents don't want to have to babysit
I don't
staff.
want employees.
Right. So it's a really, it's one of the most well-rounded. It's not just focused on one type of insurance. It's really about how to sell, how to promote yourself, how to layer, how to stack. Galen Hendrickson, Queen of the Bundle, for those of you who know her, was at the first one that I went to many years ago. And it was like eye-opening. And she just, her concept, the way she spoke, it made sense to me. And I'm like, yes, this is what I need to do. So you're going to just hear things from people who are currently selling, not just, like I said, it's not a bunch of carriers standing up there telling you how awesome their product is, because they all say the same thing. It's how do these products even work? How do they affect? Which does bring me back to next week. So next week, I am going to talk about filling in those gaps, how to stack, how to think a little bit smarter. One year I made more money from 30 people than I did from 500 ACA clients. And I want to show you how to do that. It was insane. And we all know ACA's commissions are kind of on the side, but it's going to change again, and along with the regulations, it will change. I think it's going to end up being more like the Medicare Advantage plans. But still, I want to show you how to work a little smarter, not so hard, so that you can make a good living. You can protect your clients in ways they never knew because they don't know this, and even more, getting your names out. If you have any other questions from, because we got, I think we have 3 more coming out, 2 more. So if you have one for the 25th, a topic that you'd like, let me know. The conference is right up in here. I'll put that link in there as well. Everybody, here's the conference. Not sure why it went direct to there, but anybody else, any questions, shoot me an email. Thank you very much. Since you were talking about creating and having some great Facebook ads, somebody shared a resource that I can use. Sure, you can, if you've got a resource, you certainly can share that. I know people are looking for that. I am not a Facebook. I don't have time. I don't have time to do all of that. I'm actually training my staff to do that. So, if anybody wants to share that information, you can. And if anybody wants to, again, got any ideas for the last one, let me know on the Medicaid rollback. We will still continue these if there's an interest, because I've got lots of topics we can talk about ACA, and I like building this community. Thank you so much. Yes, it's okay to share it. If you want to put that in the chat real quick. So somebody's gonna share something really quick on the Facebook ad info on the chats. Thank you everybody who came in. I'm really happy. This will be recorded. It's going to be in the Facebook groups, Marketplace Mastery and North Americans group. So if you want to reread this and go, okay, what did she say there, and miss it, you'll have a chance to do that. Yeah. Any other questions for anyone? All right. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Right there, she said, if you're looking for somebody, look up Bobby. about $300 course, and then you can learn to do it yourself. And there's plenty of you that are do-it-yourselfers. So if you want to do it there to learn how to do it right, because that is the thing, right? You can put ads and you get crickets, and then you see somebody who's making a ton. It's not going to be cheap to do it right, and it's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen. And then suddenly you're going to go, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed with work. So thanks a lot, guys. Happy Thursday. One more day for the weekend, and I hope you all have a wonderful time.
Bye-bye.